All right, everyone. Are we live? You guys hear me? Mic check. Let me know if I'm coming through on the camera. Hello? And the mic. You guys let me know if you hear me. What's up, David? You hear me, right? Cool, man. That's dedication. I love it. Guys, David is joining us from class. I'm just waiting for some confirmation that you guys can hear me because I know you don't have the sound on. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Do you hear me, or am I on silent with you too because you're in class? Everybody's joining from class. All right, whoever is here and has audio on, please let me know that the mic is working. I don't want to stop until I have confirmation. Nice. Good job, David. Investment theory. For sure, bro. You will. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. So somebody let me know that this is coming through. OBS is picking up. Hey, Nico, do you hear me? Do you have speakers, audio on? Okay, Cam, thank you. For the love of God, somebody hears me. Good. All right, nice. Thank you, Nico. Appreciate it. What's up, guys? All right, let's go ahead and get started. We don't have time to waste. We got 8 minutes till the 9 a.m. hourly close. My goal is to be here every morning before this hourly close because yesterday we missed corn. All right, we're looking for congestion trades. There's nothing here on ES. I don't like that for NQ. Dow is trending down. That's not congestion. Remember, guys, we're doing congestion. Russell's trending down. That's not congestion. Let's look at the 10-year treasury. We're going to make you guys pros one step at a time, one playbook setup at a time. So here's the 10-year treasury. Everything's very flat right now, which is kind of what I expected with yesterday's end of day analysis. I tried to pick up a little bit of money overnight. I lost a little, then I made it back. So that was good. I can tell you about that trade later. But small size. Let's see. With the 10-year here, we are in congestion, but guys, we're focusing on the hourly chart right here, okay? That's the hourly, that's the 15-minute confirmation, that's the daily, our first higher time period, that's the weekly. So, yeah, we're in congestion here on the 10-year treasury, but we don't really have a pattern there. I think treasuries are going to go up this week overall. If we remember looking at the weekly chart here, you can see this is the 30-year treasury. If we look at the 10-year, got some nice support down here. So, you know, the daily entering congestion up. I'm not opposed to buying congestion signals in the treasury market today, specifically the ultra bond, because the 10-year, you know, doesn't really, I don't trade the 10-year. So we'll look and see if the ultra bond or the 30-year, preferably the ultra bond, can go into congestion somewhere down into the weekly support level. So that's the 30-year, that's trending down. Ultra bonds are trending down, but I do think we've got some support coming in here, but we'll see. Just kind of setting us up for the day. Gold, remember I said in last night's end of day analysis that, nice, Aaron. Good job, bro. And you're going on Top Step TV. All right, we got both Aaron here. Both Aarons. What's up, guys? Gold been taking me on a wild ride today. Yeah, I'm sure. You can see right here, Aaron. I'll call you Aussie Aaron and Canadian Aaron, right? Aussie Aaron inside bar here. But still, we get a nice pattern here, pocket pattern. There's a lot of support here. So for our congestion theme week, if gold goes into congestion action, I'd love to play the long side with our patterns and congestion today for gold. That's for sure. And yeah, Aaron, the commodity, you're going to be on Top Step TV the 28th, I think, something like that. So guys, he's going to be the first of many VolPro Edgers on Top Step TV. Ozzy Aaron, you don't count because you got your own show. So that's cool. Congratulations, Aaron, the commodity. So Darren's been up for 23 hours. Tried to get and okay, Aaron, you count. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. It's just that you got your own show. Yeah, so Darren's been up for 23 hours, guys. That's dedication. I don't know how he does it. Some call him Superman. I cry like a baby when I get like 6-7 hours of sleep. I'm like, I just can't take it anymore. Some people are superhuman. Darren's one of them. I'm not. That's for sure. All right, so gold is, we're trending technically, but we're kind of in congestion, but we don't have a pattern. We'll ignore that. Silver's in congestion. We got a little bit of an opposite situation happening here on silver because that daily flash was pretty big and the daily ignored it and just kept pushing higher. I think silver, I mean, you're in a live pocket here for sure. There's some resistance. You can see these live core DMLs building against. You got these static ones up here. So there'll be some resistance up here for sure on silver, but I'm not really getting a great read. The hourly is in congestion here for silver. You got a nice little pocket. The question is, okay, would I want to short this hourly congestion pocket? I mean, not really. I don't think it's like a terrible short. I just, look at the daily here. We're firing to the upside, right? So do I want to step in front of a moving train? Not really. That wouldn't make sense, right? So silver, I'm going to pass on that. It could drop. It's just, I don't like going against the daily. I want these trades in order for me to make these trades qualify as like, B or better, B plus preferably, like the 3 trades we identified yesterday. Corn, ES, we actually took. Corn, we just missed because it was 9 o'clock hour. That's why I'm starting early now. And then gold later on. Those were all B to B plus because they're in line. They're congestion trades that look really good in line with the daily chart, right? And preferably the weekly as well. And guys, remember, Jesus does love Spokane, Washington. I didn't know that, but he does. This cup cracks me up every time I get it from the cupboard. All right, so silver, we'll see what happens there. I mean, it's a nice congestion zone, and it's the only one so far on our list that's in congestion with a pattern. But again, I'm not going to short it for the reasons I just gave. Here's copper, and you guys will notice the overall scoreboard here, very flat right now, so we're not getting a lot of a read. Indices are flat, bonds are flat, metals, I mean, mixed, right? You got copper down by almost 1%, industrial metal. Then you got platinum up 1.28%. You want to see consensus on the scoreboard, right? Right now, we don't have any consensus. And you can get a big leg up when you start to understand these correlations and you get consensus. So yesterday, when I took that ES long, that congestion long, because this is our congestion themed week, our congestion playbook. When I took that long, it was very clear with the scoreboard, copper was up nicely, platinum was up nicely, bonds were being well bid. So there was stability in the bond market. The industrial metals were gaining. That is stock market positive, which just made that congestion buy on ES that much better, right? It's not always going to work, but when you match up VolPro Edge and then you start to understand the scoreboard a little bit, it's just going to give you that much more of an edge, okay? So it's very important. So right now we have no consensus on the scoreboard. The market's mixed. So is that a market you want to jump in and start firing away on? Not really, right? So just keep that in mind. But look, we haven't even had the market open yet. So this is going to get going here soon. We're 9 a.m. in about 25 seconds. All right, here's copper. Technically we're in congestion, but we're trending down basically. So we'll ignore that. There's platinum trending up. We'll ignore that. Let's look at crude. Aaron, the commodity, loves crude. Trending down. We'll ignore that. Natural gas, the widowmaker, as Aaron, the commodity says. Kind of trending down. Ignore that. Let's look at heating oil. Trending down. Let's look at gasoline. We are in congestion here on gasoline. If it wants to load or not, I'm not really sure. Maybe it just doesn't want to load. TradingView is like, you know what? I'm not loading gasoline for you. Let's go back. RBOB, here it is. You know, that's technically not congestion, but that's a nice little pattern right there, moving in for congestion entrance up. I'm not going to take it because it's technically not in congestion, and I don't really know what this daily chart is doing. But not a bad little pattern there. Euro trending down. Let's ignore that. I'm sure the currencies are not going to be good right now. Well, let's go through them. We don't want to miss anything. Here's the pound. Nope. I just don't have time to explain why I don't want to take all these. So I'm just trying to make sure we don't miss anything good for 9 a.m. Canadian dollar. Big exhaust. There's a good example of an exhaust right there, guys. Big flash. Hourly. Holding the extension right into the daily pocket, right? Interesting to see what this weekly flash does here. Let's look at the Aussies. So we got the two Aaron's currencies back to back, the CAD and the AUD. Trending up here on the AUD. Don't want that. Aaron, the commodity. Have to have this on mute once in a while in a class. We'll be popping in and out. I've been enjoying your London sessions. Nice. Thanks, bro. Saw your trades in your channel. It would be cool to see some new raw vids. You have some beautiful trades. Yeah, he does for sure. He's a really good trader. And a very good friend. So here on the New Zealand dollar trending up, nothing. That's wild and wacky for the yen. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's in congestion here on the hourly for sure. But that would be a short, and we're breaking through the extension and we're breaking the live congestion. You know, I don't like that short. It might go down, but number one, the hourly is not confirming it for me. And number two, you know, the daily chart here on Bitcoin is pushing higher. So you don't want to be shorting against that right now. Let's look at Ethereum. That's congestion, but that's a big move back up there. The daily's got potentially a pretty nice resistance pattern on Ethereum. You've got these two nice, because yesterday we were through that extension because we're coming out of this weekly flash to the upside, right? But the fact that we got back down and held here on Ethereum is interesting. I don't even think we can trade Ethereum, guys, but this is for you Bitcoin Ethereum guys. But yeah, let me not spend time on that since I don't think I can trade that on Tradeify anyways. Let's look at corn. Hopefully we don't miss something again on corn. The one we missed on corn yesterday was absolutely beautiful right there. That flash, boom, bang. It was just the 15-minute confirmed, and it was just a quick shot up. You know, would have been what was a nice B plus there, in line with a daily, firing to the upside. So when you start to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, guys, you know, you look for, you know, we're doing congestion playbook this week. You know, next week, if you guys want more congestion playbook, we'll do that if you're still not getting it. Or we'll go on to another theme and then come back to congestion later. We're going to rotate these themes, right? I'll take a look in a second, e-ticket. Let me see if I can find a trade here for the 9 o'clock hour. It's not looking likely. Corn's not a trade. Wheat is trending down. Soybeans are trending down. Soybean oil trending down. Soybean meal trending down. And then the meats. I think the meat's open till 9:30, right? I actually have traded the meats before, but it's been a long time. So I don't think the meats are open yet. So, all right. So no trades for the 9 a.m. hour. You knew that was how it's going to be, right? Today, I'm like, I'm getting up early. I'm not going to miss that 9 a.m. trade. Get up early, no 9 a.m. trade. That's all right. We're just following our system. Hey, next time I feel tired and sorry for myself, I'm going to think about Darren being awake for 23 hours. Aaron, the commodity is like that too, man. The way you can survive on no sleep is incredible. I need my sleep. All right. So e-ticket 18854. Let me see where it is. So Aaron, he took a long at 18. So 18554. Is that right? 185. Aaron, did you get long at 854 or 554? Probably. Well, there's 854. So there's 854. Yeah, I'm guessing 854, right? Because we haven't been to 554. So 854 is probably, well, I mean, here you can see 854 is right into the daily pocket, and this is the kind of the zone that I talked about in the end of day analysis video e-ticket. I said you got all these, you got the extension, the congestion, which we know in a trend, if you get these near the middle of the envelope, they become trend DMLs. And you got it right at the middle of the VolPro Edge envelope, right? So that's all support right there. You've also got a crossover bringing this VolPro reaction support level above this VolPro reaction resistance level. When they cross over like that, that's important. So there's lots and lots of support there temporarily. So I'm sure that that's probably what Aaron, the commodity, took advantage of. That's actually what I was talking to you guys in the Discord last night, and I was just trading this on small size before I went to bed, and I was trying to do something similar, but I got stopped out on, you know, that wicked 5-minute flush. I lost about $1,000 on that, and then when it started to reverse, I knew I just gotten flushed out and we were going higher, so I got back in, and then I let it ride a little bit, and then I got my money back. But it wasn't like a revenge trade or anything. It was just like, oh, I was a little early, got shaken out, knew that I got shaken out, got back in, because I also felt that there would be a lot of support here. What's up, Spider-Man? How you doing, man? And I was actually originally looking for a push up to the true average because I thought this would be the range for the day. I mean, guys, look, it's pretty amazing. These are here before the day even starts, right? All these dots right there, and then the true average right there, right at the envelope top. So far, that has framed the day perfectly. That's kind of what I expected. You know, we'll see what happens when the New York Open, but I thought Asia would be very choppy overnight. I recommended to you guys to not trade it because you know that's not easy trading. So pretty much played out as I thought it would. All right, guys, we got 16 people. Cool. Can we get some likes? It does help the algo to get our channel past, you know, 600 subs, which would be cool. We're getting there. We're growing one sub at a time. And yeah, so the closest one for a trade, I would say, for the 9 o'clock hour was probably silver. That short there, because at least I didn't take it for my own reasons. I don't like regret not taking or anything. It's fine. But at least the hourly pattern itself is not too terrible. You've got a nice pocket. You got all the congestion resistance DMLs above you. Yeah, you broke the extension, but not by much. And all these are above you. That's important. You've got no, you guys should be taking notes on this. You got no core DMLs against you. No yellow DMLs like stacked here against you. Because generally speaking, unless you have a really good reason, you don't want to go short into those. So this, you had a clearer path to the downside. Now, so all that here on the hourly, you know, you're pressing up against these highs. This is your congestion zone, if you want to frame that. So you're near the upper boundary of that congestion zone. So all that looks good with silver, but I didn't take it because I'm looking, you know, to get a B plus for me, it needs to be going with the daily, and with this daily firing to the upside like this, you know, sure, this might collapse. Silver can do anything. I mean, silver is a widow maker like nat gas, but that's why I didn't take that, because of, you know, that daily trend to the upside. But the 15 by itself, pretty much confirmed right there. You can see the 15 right into that pocket, you know. Beautiful, holding the congestion extension DMLs right there. So still not a good enough trade for me, but I'm, you know, laying it out here to teach you guys. What's up, Ez? How you doing, guys? Give Ez a saludos from Argentina. Buenos días, amigo. Ez is a good friend of mine, long time. He'll be helping out the channel as we grow. So that's cool. Guys, don't ever play poker against Ez. He's taken a lot of money off me in poker. Oh man. Ez. All right, so that was silver. So yeah, you guys got any questions? Any questions about congestion week so far? Are you enjoying it? I'm enjoying it. I think it's really nice to have structure to our theme and our trading and helping you guys put together the playbook. Yeah, definitely is. Like yesterday. Yesterday was a good day. Now we just patiently wait for our setups, put together our congestion playbook. You know, our next hourly close is not till 10, but you know, we can talk about the Nasdaq at the open while we're waiting for our congestion playbook. But I would say for those of you who are just going to trade on your own today, be very careful with the Nasdaq. This is going to be wrestling between these two levels. It's going to be very choppy. I think we're probably going to see false breakouts. So if you were going to employ some sort of a strategy today on the Nasdaq, I would probably look to short runs through the high and long runs through the low. So liquidity sweeps, I would look to fade those. And you might be wrong, so just be careful. I'm not going to trade that because that's not part of our congestion playbook. And I don't really have a good read on the Nasdaq aside from we've got good resistance here and good support here. And there's the scoreboard is flat for now. So with that in mind, that's why I think if you want to play those liquidity sweeps in that way, you know, that wouldn't be a bad bet. All right. And John G, if you're here and you need to ask questions, just go ahead and you know, DM me with the question. And I think, was it KLR? I think also wasn't able to comment on YouTube for some reason. So if you want, you can always, if KLR is here and you want to ask a question or share something with the chat, just DM me in Discord and then I'll see it. So it goes for anybody who can't, for whatever reason, who can't comment on YouTube. Just DM me in the Discord and then I'll see your comment. I'll share it with everybody. All right. So it's so funny, you know, you get all these friend requests from all these people who are trying to scam you. All right. Okay, cool. KLR, you're here. I see you in the chat there. You say you can hear. Nice. But I see you're writing it in the trading chat because you can't comment on YouTube for whatever reason. Now I see your comment. Thanks. And Scalper continuing to do very well. Rafa, nice job. All right, you guys got any questions about any markets that you're watching or about the Nasdaq before the open? Okay, Darren has a question. Would you look at silver at the 15-minute close now that it's at the lower edge of the envelope? Let's look at silver. So, like, yeah, what about this, Darren? I certainly wouldn't buy this because I don't like to buy. I would wait till the hourly closes, number one. I would wait till the hourly closes. And I also wouldn't buy this going against this hourly pocket that we're coming out of, right? So now if silver, you know, closed down here into its own pocket at the 10 o'clock hour, and I like what I saw on the scoreboard and the 15 was confirming, then maybe I'd buy it for a push back up. Because silver could, if the scoreboard looks positive, silver could squeeze up here today. We'll see. I mean, you have a nice 15-minute pocket here for sure, but it's breaking its own congestion, DML, the extension DML. So it might push up, but it's not really like it's not a trade I would take. And silver, you got to be careful with. It's a tough cookie. Look, this in silver is very similar to what I kept you guys out of yesterday with ES. If you remember here on the hourly for ES yesterday, right here is where we took our long, right there. Why? Because this was just beautiful congestion textbook right at the DMLs, bottom tick the entry, right? That doesn't happen very often, but you guys saw it. That's lucky when that happens, right? The Furu will say that he does it on purpose. I got lucky. I just put my, well, lucky, but you know, we used the DMLs, but I put my order at the spot where it just got filled, bottom tick there, which was great. Took the profit up in here, which was fantastic because the other side of the envelope was the target, and that worked out well. But back to my example of silver, Darren. So you see yesterday, people were asking me here, oh, should we, you know, is there support there? I think Mindry was asking me about that. Is there support there? And I said, no, I wouldn't bet on that because you're coming out of this strong congestion resistance pocket, and those can have a tendency to drive you down further than you think. So that was the first reason I didn't recommend that. And the second reason was that all these lows, right? You're not near the lows, the outer boundary of the congestion zone. You're up here in no man's land. Then you'd have to put your stop back here. That's not good risk to reward. So then we said we were stocking this in the private Discord. So you guys should turn on your notifications in Discord because when I go live after I shut down YouTube and I'm stocking something, I notify you guys in Discord, and then we go live in Discord. And so we were stocking this in Discord because we were curious to see if these extension DMLs would hold support and give us a potential long to suck back into the range. Because I did suspect something like this was going to happen, but it pushed lower, so it didn't confirm. So we ignored that. We didn't take it. But then what we did see, because we did a quick check, was that gold, right? And those who were in the chat can confirm this for gold. Those who were in the Discord, assuming I can find it. There, right there. So this was a beauty on gold right there. Aaron, Lucy would like this one. This is what we nailed yesterday. Said there was, so here you're in congestion right here, right? Because you're going, this is textbook congestion, bang, congestion entrance, back down, boom. Now you're in congestion. You had a beautiful neutral pocket. All the DMLs look very nice. I said to everybody, I think there's a pretty high chance we're going back up to these highs here, right? So it just, I didn't get in. Some people might have got in. I didn't because the 15, it didn't confirm and it just took off. And then we were waiting for pullbacks on the 5-minute, but couldn't even get those. But the signal was definitely valid. We were into the daily support zone. We were with the daily direction. So when you have all these things lining up, guys, this is how you take high probability trades. And it doesn't matter if you're running your congestion playbook with VolPro Edge, if you're running your trend playbook, your trend reversal playbook, congestion entrance playbook, congestion exit playbook, exhaust playbook. I mean, your opposite playbook. You got so many different ways to run these playbooks, and then you can really take advantage of this if you're in line with the higher time period. Hey Em, how you doing? It is 7:19 in the morning. I'm very excited about getting up at 6. It's too early, that's for sure. So that's my friend M in the beautiful Canary Islands. So let's see here. Yeah, it's early. Are you impressed? She knows I'm not a morning person. That's for sure. Let's see. So Darren, I think I answered your question. Mindrive, Ralph, good morning. So in congestion, we have scenarios where congestion gets extended, congestion exhausts, congestion breakouts. We will still trade congestion getting extended in congestion week, but not the others. Yeah, I mean, we're going to trade all kinds of congestion setups. So, you know, ES here, that's why we were stalking this one yesterday. Had that triggered a buy here, that would have been a nice congestion buy if that held above the extension DMLs. And you know, technically you're still in congestion there because that was your original congestion zone, and then you would just be expanding it down to here. So, you know, we'll take those types. Oh, thank you, Em. I appreciate that. I will call you. We got some stuff to go over later, so I'll give you a call. Um, let's see. So congestion. Yeah. So is that correct? Yeah, Ralph, I'd say that's correct. E-ticket, CL is my Achilles heel. Yeah, guys, I wouldn't be doing a lot of CL trading or nat gas trading unless you really know those markets intimately. I mean, we'll trade them because VolPro Edge works on everything, but just know that they can be really, really wacky and whipsawy. Um, so that's important to keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and shift around here. We'll go back to Nasdaq. So keep firing questions away, guys. This is how you're going to learn. This is how you're going to put together your playbook. And you know, the voice message I put in the chat yesterday for everybody in the member section, I said to you guys, you know, like we're only at the beginning of our 3rd week with VolPro Edge. So I've set this whole thing up. You know, this is not a, you know, Furu get rich quick thing. This is real trader development, right? So you've got to learn the course first because the course is the foundation of the methodology, right? The course is teaching you how to understand the basics of VolPro Edge. Then once you have a sense of that, now with the live streaming, especially now that we've, you know, really set our focus to the playbook setups, you're going to start to see the course and the methodology being taught in action in different playbook setups. And so that's step 2 is learning the playbook piece by piece by piece, right? And then the final step is I'm going to work with you guys. You're going to work with each other to put together pieces of the playbook the way you want to trade it based on your personality, your life schedule, your risk tolerance, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's one step at a time. And, you know, you got to really think about, okay, where am I going to be if I really follow the process and listen to Andy? Where will I be 3 months from now? And I promise you, you're going to be a lot further ahead than if you continue to just kind of like do your own thing. And, you know, I didn't take a trade today, but like, don't do that. Just focus on the process the way that I've set it up, because I've set it up this way for a reason. And it's going to get you guys to where you want to be, which is payouts, you know, faster than anything. So, you know, it's like learning you know, to play something on the piano, right? Well, I would probably, since I don't play the piano, I would have to learn it like one section at a time. And that's what we're doing here at VolPro Edge. You're learning it one section at a time, right? So it's super important. So Aaron trades, I got short on gold today on stream. Looked back at VolPro Edge levels on the 15-minute and they had it beautifully. Oh, that's awesome, man. Where'd you short? That was brave shorting against that strength, that's for sure. But yeah, some good shorts in here on the hourly for sure. I mean, you can see gold is definitely stuck in this range. And you had the daily VolPro Edge resistance level there. You know, the core DML right there nailed the high. The core DML here almost nailed the low. You know, you got a nice hourly pocket here. You're going to love this, Aaron, when you start to really dig into this. Like right here, I mean, look at this. This is right during your time slot, I think, in London. That hourly right there, that's a pretty beautiful. You're in congestion, beautiful pocket, right? You're holding this resistance zone right there, which is nice. You're below the true average, which is nice. You know, you're above that congestion DML, which I don't like. And probably I wouldn't short that because of the daily strength here. But still, it doesn't mean that you guys can't do it. So that's nice. Yeah, that was it. Oh, cool, man. Good spot. Yeah, nice. You can start using the VolPro Edge DMLs to, you know, confirm the trades you like to take, you know, with the liquidity sweeps. That's the thing. A lot of people, I'm teaching you guys to use VolPro Edge from the ground up. And that's what I recommend, especially if you've been struggling with other things. But if you've got something else that's working reasonably well for you and you're making money with it, just use VolPro Edge to confirm it. Like, you know, our buddy Scalper in the chat, Scalper, he has his little EMA system, and then he he's been on fire using VolPro Edge to confirm or deny his EMA trades. Like, I don't even really understand what he's doing, but it's working great for him. And so that's also another way you guys can use it. But I would say only if you have a system that works. Like Aaron trades, he's really good at finding these key liquidity sweep levels. And now he's starting to look at where VolPro Edge is matching up with those and confirming those. And that's how you can use it. So awesome job, mate. Good trade. It's late there, right? What time is it now for you? Got to hand it to you, staying up late too. I guess it's just a different schedule, right? You got to stay up late. I got to wake up early. They're both kind of not ideal. I would say that the best trading time zone is, definitely Europe for sure, because then you get the London Open in the morning and you get the New York Open in the afternoon. I mean, it's pretty awesome. The hard part about that is you got to stay up late to get the daily close, but I would say Europe is probably the best trading time zone for sure. 11:25, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're going to be back in August. Where are you going? Are you going to back to Italy, or where are you going to be headed in August, Aaron? All right, Stephen K just looked at TradingView Easter sale. Professional only. Yeah, Stephen, don't get that tick data. Yeah, don't get that, because it's their tick data is just not good enough yet. So I would not recommend getting that level. And by the way, for you guys who are getting the TradingView Easter sale, when I go in my TradingView back office or whatever, they're not offering me a sale at all. So they're only offering certain people sales. Maybe they're not offering me a sale because they can see that like VolPro Edge is a script and it's invite only, and they know that I'm a developer, so they're like, screw this guy, we don't have to offer him a sale. So it's like, because I want to pay for the year in advance to get the deal, but I can't, which is funny. Yeah, Spain. Okay, cool, dude. Yeah, Spain will be nice. Will you be in the Costa del Sol in the south? That'll be a good spot. Yeah, e-ticket, we're working on it. My developer is building the server, so he's doing it as fast as he can. And I can just say that it is on the way, and it's not going to be like, we're reaching our goal of getting it ready. Maybe I got to talk to him, but it's getting close. And right now, what we're doing on TradingView, with the theme playbook and the minute charts it's really okay for right now. And then once we have Sierra ready, that'll be great for you guys who want to take it to the next level with tick data. And then you'll, for the serious traders, you guys will want to have, probably both TradingView and Sierra. Just, you want to have redundancy. You want to have a backup in case, one of them is having a bad day, not loading data, whatever, right? It's always good to have redundancy. Yeah, that's what I would do, min drive, exactly. Premium TradingView is what I would do, and then also Sierra. And then for charting, depending on the deal you get with TradingView, Sierra is going to be about $50 a month. And if you get a good deal and pay for the year for TradingView, you can get premium for like $20 a month or something, right? So then if you're with your data and your charts, you got Sierra charts and TradingView all for like $70, $75 a month. That's pretty darn good. Yeah, so I think that's a good suggestion, Ralph. So using premium, but it was the first time I saw it on the options. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what TradingView needs to do is up here, when you go to add custom interval, like here, you see, even let's say I had the expert plan where you can use tick. I've now downgraded to premium because their expert plan sucks and you pay like $120 a month for it. But so here you can only go to 1,000 ticks, which is ridiculous. You should be able to set that number at whatever you want. And then if you could do that, then you'd have good tick data on TradingView that you could use VolPro Edge on your tick charts. So what my developer tried to do was build synthetic bars, it's complicated to explain. He did it. He did his job correctly. And then the TradingView tick environment that he's pulling all the data from, there's lots of bugs in there. So he was like, we could use this, but I was like, no, if the data is not good, we can't use it. It's just not, there's too much money on the line. We're trading here every day. So But I have to say, TradingView is very, very good. I like, I love the end of day charts, you know, the yearly down through the daily, very sweet. And then here we got our intraday setup, very nice. We got the scoreboard. You know, you can quickly fire through different markets. So, you know, TradingView is good for that for sure. All right, let's go. We got well, the Nasdaq is open. Let's go take a look. Oh, okay, V123. What's up? Yeah, good to see you guys. I'm learning all your. I know all you guys from Discord, your Discord names, and then I got to learn your YouTube names as well. Yeah, exactly, Ralph. All right, so we can watch. Let me refill my coffee here, guys. Just give me a sec, and then we'll just kind of watch the Nasdaq, and then we'll start scrolling through the scoreboard to see our next hourly check at 10 a.m. and see if we have any good congestion setups as per our congestion week playbook. And I've got my Tradeify accounts ready to rock. I will place the first trade of the day on my number 11 account. So see how that goes. All right, let me just refill my coffee, guys. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Put questions in the chat. All right, guys, we're back. We got some fresh coffee here. Some fresh Costa Rican coffee. Very nice. I couldn't put any honey. I had honey in my first mug, but we didn't have much honey left, and my daughter needs it for her breakfast, for her oatmeal, so no honey for me. All right. So, and this is what you do, you know, with the congestion playbook, for example, right? We're just going to scroll through here. Yeah, thanks, Darren. I appreciate that, man. Nice if you guys can like it. It does help. It definitely helps. All right. So thanks, Darren. With ES here, so this is how I start to prepare, right? If we're implementing our congestion playbook, right? So now we want to start going through the scoreboard. First of all, you know, take a look at the scoreboard itself. What do we see here, right? What did we see earlier? There's no agreement here in the scoreboard. Everything's kind of a mess, right? Like indices are choppy, bonds are choppy because the 10-year is flat, but the longer end of the curve, the 30-year, the ultra, these are down a little bit, right? So you don't, it's not really clear here. But if the 10-year starts to sell off too, then stocks are definitely not going to like that, right? Especially if gold is catching a bid. If it catches more of a bid and bonds are being sold, then you've got a little bit of a flight to safety, a fear trade. Stocks won't like that. But then we should see evidence of that in the industrial metals, specifically copper and platinum. And we're getting mixed signals because right now copper is down, but platinum is up. You'd want to see platinum down also for this risk off. Crude is flat. The dollar is not really giving us a whole lot of info lately. But right now, the dollar is up about 0.3 against the euro. Lately, when the euro is up, that's a fear trade, which is opposite to what we historically expect. We expect money to flow into the dollar during the fear trade, but that's not happening right now. And then, you know, the agriculturals and the meats are kind of in their own little world. But so the scoreboard is mixed right now. But I would say the most important aspect of the scoreboard is probably the fact that if bonds remain under pressure, stocks probably won't like that very much. But again, I'd like to see more confirmation from the industrial metals over here. We got a question in the questions. Yeah, David, should we consider flashes in the middle of the envelope? I noticed it, like I pointed out in yesterday's end of day analysis. You have a little bit of a flash here in the middle of the envelope. It's just something to take note of. It could signify a little bit of exhaustion, but I pay more attention to the flashes on the reaction levels, because those are definitely where the powerful flashes take place. I was just taking note of that flash. You can go back and go back test it and see. Go on an hourly chart and look what happens sometimes when the middle of the envelope itself flashes. Like here, there you can see a good example, right? These are all these little nuances you guys can come up with. So right here, check this out. You're in this pocket here, right? Nice pocket. And look at this flash. Perfect flash on the middle of the envelope itself. Section 1, section 2, bang, section 3. So yeah, I think it's something to monitor for sure. It's more subtle. All right, so that's what we're seeing on the scoreboard, which is really important, right? And here with ES, so we have to start preparing for the 10 a.m. hourly close, right, in 24 minutes. So we'd have to ask ourselves, okay, we are in congestion now on ES. We've got these old highs here, trend resistance high. Basically, you were technically trending down here. So you actually have a trend resistance high and a trend support low. So it's quite a large congestion area. This would be your congestion entrance bar, which you got to be careful of these guys. If you're trading congestion, be very careful if you got the congestion entrance bar. In other words, shorting that to go back down. You got to be careful. There's a lot of powerful energy coming out of that into that congestion entrance, okay? David, you got it. All right, nice, man. So we'll see when the 10 o'clock hourly bar closes, but number one, that is a congestion entrance bar. So just that would make me probably not want to short that congestion resistance level there. But we'll see where we are at 10. But this is how we prepare, guys. You go through these and you look at each market and you look at the hourly chart. So Nasdaq's going to be probably fairly similar if TradingView will delight us by loading this chart. Let's go back to ES. Let's go back to TradingView. There we go. Thank you, TradingView. So you can see similar on the Nasdaq. You're trending down. Here you got close 1, close 2, close 3, and now boom, congestion entrance up. So you got to be very careful taking those. Look, and it doesn't mean that this won't happen. It could, but it's just not a bet you want to make, because the probabilities are not as in your favor for this particular aspect of the playbook, right? So just keep that in mind. Congestion entrance, you got to be very, very careful. Nice, Aaron. Cool. So I probably wouldn't take that on Nasdaq. Let's look at the Dow. And guys, John G or whoever else in here, you guys can if you're unable to chat in the YouTube chat for whatever reason, if YouTube has a grand conspiracy against your username and won't let you chat, then just pop your message into the Discord and I'll share it with everybody, because I don't want you guys to be left out. Okay, I got the Discord open over here, so it's no big deal. Cam says, does anyone else have the problem where the TradingView charts are behind from the top step charts? My charts are a solid 40 points behind. That's weird. I don't have my top step open right now, but maybe somebody can tell Cam if you're seeing delay issues between TradingView and top step. That would be strange. So here's the Dow. Similar, guys. You got trend down, bang, congestion entrance up. Would I short this at the 10 o'clock hour? No. And remember, this is congestion week. So we're focusing on how to trade high probability range bound setups using VolPro Edge like we did yesterday. I don't know how many points we made on ES, but it was a lot and it was very fast and we bottom ticked it and that was cool. All right, so here's the Russell. I know we're not going to trade this either. We're pushing higher. So you guys see that like 95% of trading, at least successful trading, is filtering out bad trades. And the only way you're going to do that is by having a playbook, having a plan, having something with an edge that works. right? People are like, I can't find any consistency in my trading. I'm like, what do you do? Do you have like, what market do you trade? What's your time frame? What's your edge? Like, how do you employ it? How do you prepare for every day? How do you plan for the day? How do you execute that plan? And they're just like, they look at me like, I don't know what you mean. I'm like, well, that's why you're not consistent. It's like, imagine if you're not like a surgeon, but you just went into the ER and just picked up some tools. You're like, I'm just gonna do some surgery today, just because why not? I'm like, have you had any training? Do you have a plan? No. Okay, well, training's the same way. Just because we can do it from our house in our underwear doesn't mean that you don't have to prepare. It's very important. All right, so here, so we know for the indices, we're pushing higher now, a little bit of risk on. Do we have anything there for our congestion playbook there to short on the indices at 10 o'clock? No, we don't, but let's see, maybe we'll get something in bonds or one of the metals or one of the energies or one of the ags. This is why we go through all the markets, just find the best congestion setup right now during congestion playbook week. So here you can see the 10-year, so there's the reason stocks are rallying is because you now have some buying coming into the treasury market. So there's stability in the treasury market. Stocks are liking that for the time being. Copper's making a little bit of a turnaround now. We were down like 0.7%. Now we're only down 0.24. So maybe copper will catch up and be positive with platinum. That would all be kind of like a risk on board. Gold's kind of stuck right now. So you're getting a little bit of a flash pattern here on the 10-year right here. Right. So the question is this a congestion exhaust to reverse back down into the range? That would be my question here for the 10-year treasury. You are at some daily resistance, that's for sure. But as it stands now, you're breaking through these core DML resistance levels. You're also breaking through this high. So I don't really like this where it's at right now. But now if we pushed all the way up here to that extension, like this, and you got like a close like that, especially with that live core DML resistance right there, that could be grounds for a congestion exhaust reversal for sure. So we'll keep an eye on that. Anybody answer? Oh, okay. Yeah. So you guys are. So yeah, real-time data, June contract, exact. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say too, check the data. That could be it, Kim. So that's the 10-year. Let's look at the 30-year. That's a congestion entrance bar. I would stay away from that. You guys understand what I'm saying about congestion entrance bar, right? Like you want to stay away from those congestion entrance bars. Very important. Sometimes they'll, only if you're in a trend, like here, you see you're trending down nicely. And now you get that congestion entrance bar. But I wouldn't really consider that a congestion trade. I would consider that more of a trend continuation trade. And we'll get to that during trend week, right? That's one of our trend continuation plays. So the question here with the 30-year bond, you can see trending down, bang, congestion entrance up. Is this going to be for a short? I would say no, because again, it's congestion entrance. Oh, this is the ultra bond, but yeah, 30-year was the same. So it's looking like stocks and bonds. Probably I wouldn't want to go short at the top of those congestion ranges. Let's look at gold here. I think gold's going to continue to be stuck up here. We are in congestion on gold. And you could see, for example, this is how you guys will learn to start to anticipate, okay? So right now on gold the hourly chart, all these points out here, lines and points, these are all still moving because they're being calculated, based on the data that's unfolding right now. So if this bar, the hourly on gold, was to really dump down here, let's say to that core DML, I can tell you probably that the VolPro reaction level will shift from here down to here. And if it does, what do you see? Right? A bit of a flash, right? And that would be a congestion flash into daily support with a daily pocket. Would I take that? Probably, especially with the 15-minute confirming. So this is how we anticipate and get ready for the 10 o'clock hour, right? So we'll see what happens with gold. So far, it's the one that I kind of like the most. Let's look at silver. Kind of a wacky, choppy mess here for silver. Yeah, you are in congestion. But the problem with silver is, I mean, if we're going to keep squeezing up here, then yeah, that could be a good congestion buy. I mean, we'll keep an eye on silver. Copper. See, this is technically congestion in copper, right? Because you don't have 3 closes below the middle of the VolPro Edge envelope. You've only got 1 close above, and then, you know, this is our first close below, second close below, and then now you're going above again. So this is kind of, even though we're kind of trending down, it's more of a wacky, wild congestion range, right? And when you're trading your congestion playbook, you want more of an orderly range. Okay, so like ES yesterday, the reason we took that trade right here, this was a beautiful orderly congestion range, right? So copper right now is not orderly. But I gotta say, that's a pretty nice steep pocket there on copper. The daily looks like it probably is we're coming out of the middle of the weekly envelope here. So you got a lot of resistance here on copper. So, you know, this, it's not a bad pocket to short. We'll see if I do it. Probably not, because it's not what I want to teach you guys for right now for congestion week, but at least I'll point this out to you guys. So you can learn to start to identify the different types of trading. Cool, Aaron. See you, man. Sleep well, dude. Yeah, drop a like. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Aaron's a streamer too, guys. He knows it takes a lot of energy to be on camera and explain and talk and film. It takes a while to get used to doing that. All right, Aaron. Sleep well, man. Thanks for being here, dude. I'll let you know if we take any trades. I'm sure we will. We're scanning carefully. Let's see. Spider-Man. Just figuring out the time frames. I didn't see congestion on the 1 hour on NQ. So I went on the 4 hour to see, and NQ was in congestion on the 4 hour and a nice live pocket that we pushed out of. What would you think about if I'm only be trading NQ and ES to possibly have the 4 hour in play too, if hourly aligns but is not in congestion? Yeah, I mean, it's really just all that's personal preference, you know, like when we go over your trading plan, I will help you depending on your schedule and, you know, how you want to structure things. But yeah, I mean, I would say develop your playbook. Like, there's nothing magical about ES, excuse me, and NQ. I mean, like, it's not, we have all these markets to trade, and there's good setups in all these markets. So if you're going to do a 4 hour, 1 hour type situation, you know, you can probably find lots of good trades on all these different markets. So yeah, we can go over that whenever you're ready, buddy, and I'll help you put that together. I just want to keep going through this list real quick so we don't miss anything for the 10 o'clock hour. So yeah, copper I probably wouldn't trade. And now you can see actually these congestion DMLs are underneath us, so you wouldn't want to go short into that. So get platinum. I mean, platinum's off to the races here. Okay, crude. See, TradingView wants to load. So crude, you got a massive move to the upside there. Nat gas. That's more congestion entrance. It's not really an orderly. Like congestion, you want order, like we had yesterday in ES, and the gold trade we spotted, and even the corn trade. Those three trades from yesterday were all very orderly and nice. So here was the gasoline trade that I pointed out to you guys earlier. I said, oh, that's not a bad pocket right there, right? But we weren't really technically in congestion, so I didn't take it. But you can see how, you know, pockets are good. All right, let's look. Trending down here on the euro. Technically trending down on the pound. Trending down on the Swiss franc. What did I tell you about that Canadian dollar exhaust, guys? There you go. I said big flash into the extension DML. There's your exhaust to push back. That's your reversal. We'll cover those during reversal week. You know, that would have been a really good candidate right there for reversal week. Take it one step at a time. New Zealand dollars trending up. Australian dollars trending up. Bitcoin's pushing higher. Look at corn. Corn's trending down. Wheat's trending down. Soybeans might be going for congestion. Entrance up. Yeah, gotta be careful there. Big reversal on soybean oil. Soybean meal. Still trending down. Nice flash there on the 15. You see these flashes, guys. I mean, this is why when you learn the playbook piece by piece by piece, some of you are going to be like, I love 15-minute flashes. Great. Just scroll through all the markets and find them. Here's one. Just a perfect flash. Yeah, it broke the extensions, but look, you're right into the hourly extension right there. And you got at least that DML right there, right? So look at this flash. And look, you just never know, boom, where are you going to find them? That's right there on soybean meal of all things, right? So it's not in our congestion playbook, but these are what I'm going to teach you week by week, guys. So you're gonna understand every aspect of the playbook. Here's live cattle. I had some dead cattle for dinner last night. It was delicious. I apologize to any vegetarians or vegans. I was a vegan. Did you guys know that? For 5 years, and yeah. In the end, I just needed some protein. But to each their own. That's what I say. Live and let live. All right. So live cattle trending up. There's no congestion trade there. Here's the hogs. Well, hogs are interesting. So you're trending up. There's a pullback on hogs. So technically you're in congestion. The weekly is pushing. I mean, hogs are on fire here. I mean, the daily is just really, really pushing here. So is that a good buy on hogs? I mean, it's not a bad buy. The only thing this is more of like a trend pullback though. I really wouldn't consider this congestion because there's no orderly congestion zone. So that's why I won't take it here, because this is congestion week. And even though that's technically congestion, that's more of a congestion entrance bar. And those are the bars you got to be careful of unless you're trending strongly and it's a pullback into the pocket to push higher. But just teaching as we go, we'll keep an eye on that. Everything's better with bacon, 100% e-ticket. It's true. I love bacon. All right, let's wrap it up here with, I guess this is feeder cattle, I think. Yeah, let's see. Kind of trending up here with feeder cattle. Not going to be a trade for us. All right, so we got 6 minutes until the 10 a.m. hourly close. So let's get back in here. So yeah, I mean, we're breaking through that true average pretty good right there. So I definitely wouldn't short this, that's for sure. NQ is going to be the same. Because you look at this, you go, okay, is that a congestion exhaust? I mean, we won't know till after the fact, but you really have nothing here to short or long. There's the Dow, same thing. Here's the Russell. Let's look at the 10-year again. So the 10-year, and then gold we want to look at too, right? So the 10-year could be setting up a little congestion flash here. I mean, it's the 15-minute already flashed up. Could roll back into the zone. Keep an eye on that. I don't really like the 10-year. Here's the 30-year. That's congestion entrance technically, but you do have a little bit of a range here. You can see all these highs, so that could qualify. Ultra bond. You know, you got a nice little pocket here. You got all these DMLs. I don't like that you broke that, but still, I mean, we'll see where it closes. Let's look at gold. Gold was the one. Okay. So guys, you remember what I said about gold? I'm going to set up my charts here for gold, GCM. And I've got, yeah, like that. So remember what I said when we were looking at gold and I was anticipating, right? That would have been funny, Jacob. You should just go long hogs just for the heck of it. That was funny. All right, so guys, you remember when I was talking about gold here? We got 3 minutes left till this closes, and I said, look, if gold pushes down to that core DML, you're going to set up a flash. So do you see that flash? You see how, remember, this was up here, and now it's not. It's down there, right, like we anticipated. You're technically in congestion here. You do have that congestion DML. You're getting down into the daily core DML at 3221.3. So I would say this would probably be the closest one I'd be interested in if we get a flash here on the hourly. What I would be looking to do is I would want that daily core DML at, let's just call it 3222, which would line up. Let's see, we're still pretty far away from that daily. The question is that true average going to hold there? I don't really, I would prefer it more down here, to be honest. So I would like this, like if this collapsed down to its extension, that would be beautiful, because then you'd be way extended into the extension and into that key daily level. I mean, you don't have a bad level here, but I don't know, let's keep an eye on it. It's kind of the closest one I could find for the 10 o'clock hour. Let me know if you guys see anything that you like. There could definitely be some support here for sure on gold. You are in congestion. You're flashing. See if the 15-minute confirms. I would want to wait for a 15-minute pocket down here, because the 15-minute still trending down. Yeah, look, the 15 could just go like this. It could. And if it does that, we miss it. But I would want this 15 to kind of either give me a flash down here like this, and then try and buy that for the reversal, or congest down here, show me a nice pocket that it's respecting that support level, and then look to buy it. So we can watch gold for the 10 o'clock hour. Yeah, I would want to see it start moving inside the envelope and see like a little bit of stability there for the 15-minute. But that envelope's still pretty steep, right? And sometimes you'll miss it. You know, that's just the way it goes, and you guys will come up with your own, you know, some of you will want to just jump in and take your chance, and that'll be okay too. You know, a lot of those work. I just like to wait for the charts to set up like piece by piece. So we've got 2 seconds until the close. There's your flash on gold. Nice flash. I like this support level here. I really do. The 15, look, it might just pick this up and fire up. It really might do that. Like super aggressive traders could get long. I'm going to wait. We're still trending down on the 15. If I miss it, I miss it. I'm trying to wait for like, B plus. I'm going to call them B plus setups, right? The dollar per point move. Oh, there you go. There's a big move on gold right there. One contract is $10 a tick, Jacob. And there's 10 ticks in every dollar gold per ounce. So good flash there. The 15 for me, just, we can see in hindsight that it's nice, but I would like, the 15 to go in congestion, come back down here, and then try and buy that for a move back up. And look, if gold just reverses out of here like this, what can you say? You miss it. That's just the way it goes, right? So, but you guys can see how we're stalking these trades and finding the setups with the patterns, the type of trading, all that kind of stuff, right? So now if gold is going to be off to the races, this is what we did yesterday, but a little bit too late. We'll flip over to the 5-minute. Since we're going to monitor gold here, see if we can get a 5-minute, because I think we are going to push higher now that we have the confirmation. Let's see if we can get in on a 5-minute pullback, because we missed the 15 because it didn't confirm. So let's go here. There's your hourly flash. 15 is now going for congestion entrance up. So this is like yesterday, right? When we missed, I nailed the long here on gold right there. The hourly was perfect, but then the 15-minute yesterday, I'll show you, it was kind of similar. Here, this was the 15-minute in that. See, it was just trending, and then bang, the 15 just went and didn't look back. So then we were opening the 5-minute, trying to see if we could catch a 5-minute pullback. So we'll see if we can do the same thing here now. Because now the 15 is going for congestion entrance up, confirming the hourly flash, right? So that's really important. You can see that hourly flash, perfect. Right into that support level. We got enough daily support there, even though we didn't get to the core DML, we got the true average envelope top. And now I'm guessing the hourly wants to cycle back up here because we're in congestion trading. So now what we need to see with the 15-minute going for, I think the 15 will probably try to trend reverse now like this. So then we need to see if we can get in on a 5-minute pullback into a 5-minute pocket. And if it gives it to us, it gives it to us. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. If it gives it to us, I'll go long. We got enough support down here now confirmed for me to go long in the Tradify account, which would be cool. I've got it set to gold over here. Gold, got one contract. This is my number 11 account that we're just starting with. Yesterday, I took that winning ES trade on my number 10 account. So we're going to rotate back and forth. Let's see. I'm just making sure I don't miss any questions in the Discord. All right. So yeah, with gold, I mean, these pullbacks, they're happening fast, and when the train leaves the station, it's gone. So, but yeah, the 5-minute was moving inside the envelope there for sure. But I generally don't like to watch the 5-minute unless I have to, because I do think it will lead to more mistakes. But guys, you see how that's a great example out of, we scrolled through the entire scoreboard, and just with VolPro Edge, patterns, types of trading, it's congestion week, we zeroed in on all these markets. We found gold. I mean, it's pretty darn cool. Yeah, do I wish I was in? Of course, but that 15-minute is just not really, it's going straight down and then just go straight up. What are you going to do? But then some of you will be like, look, the hourly being good enough is enough for me. I'm taking that. Okay, then you just take it. And then you just take a bigger stop. That's okay too. I would just say that the B plus trades are the ones where you're going to have the 15-minute confirming the hourly. So we're probably headed now back toward the high of the day is what I would guess with gold. I think we're headed back up to that core DML at 32.48. That's a long way away. So if this 5-minute can pull back, I would feel comfortable trying to jump on board this trend. So Jacob joined a little late, but for NQ, I see daily trending up. Safe to consider longs and wait for hourly to come down to a bunch of DMLs. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty bullish for today for sure. Now that we've broken through the true average and the envelope top. Or Jacob, you may just want to focus on congestion week. That would be my advice. But I get you if you want to trade NQ from the long side. Don't let me stop you. Everybody's got to do what they got to do. So I would suggest to learn the playbook one setup at a time, kind of like we're doing here. Like right now, I'm stocking a gold trade because I think gold could be a potentially decent pullback on the 5-minute chart if we get a 5-minute pocket. And then yeah, like if I take the pullback and it pulls back even more, then probably I'm going to take a loss because I'm not going to take, I'm not going to put a $10 stop way back here. So I would just bet on the 5-minute continuing, but I'd want to see it pull back into a nice pocket here. Does that make sense, you guys? So sometimes if you've missed the boat on the 15-minute, then you can go to your 5-minute. So I'd be looking to pick off, like, okay, if this pulled back here and gave us a pocket, I'd buy it. But if not, and we keep trending up, then I would look to buy down in here. You can see you got the trough right there, the valley of the dots. And you've got that extension, congestion, support zone at the envelope bottom. So I'd be looking to buy down in there at 32, 30, probably 32, 32. And the stop would be like 32.29. So like I'd risk like $300. I think that'd be worth it because if we catch a runner, we can make a lot more than $300. So I might set an order here at 32.32, depending. Yeah, the valley of the dots right there. On important trend reversals, those valleys and peaks will mark important levels, especially if we can match them up with other levels. Okay, cool. Thanks, Spider-Man. I'll check that out in Discord afterwards. Appreciate you putting a picture in there so I could see more clearly. Would I consider reducing risk to widen stop? Yeah, I mean, in this case, really, we, for the congestion, the hourly congestion playbook, you want to get long here, but now this train has left the station. We're going back up here. So if I can jump on board, a 5-minute pullback down into, 32, 32, you can see now that's kind of close to the envelope bottom down here. And then we could ride that back up. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, Ralph. Cheers, Spider-Man. So I'm kind of hoping we can get a flush, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. But we'll watch. You just never know. Like this is 32, 33 now is where I'd be interested. You got a nice extension there. Would I wait for that 5 minute to close? Probably not. If it goes down there, I may just have to buy it at market quickly. But it would be kind of a gift. Let's see what happens. Whew. Not a morning person, you guys, at all. It'd be nice if we can get a nice pullback down here. I'd really love it right down in here. 32, 32. Yeah, Jacob, and I'll have to do that in a second because right now I might have to take the trade. But yeah. I mean, look, daily's trending up. You have a nice pocket that I called out per the end of day analysis. You've got these DMLs here as support, right? Yeah. Yeah, no worries, man. And now the congestion playbook, there's your hourly flash congestion into the daily support. You're with the daily energy, 15-minute, going for trend reversal up, respecting all that hourly and daily support and the hourly flash. So now I'm waiting for the pullback on the 5 minute to see if I can get long and jump on board this train. So that's kind of the thought process there. You have a beautiful flash pattern there on the hourly, right into that daily support zone, and it's congestion here on the hourly because you are congesting here, right? So that's why I was trying to pick up this because I think we're going back here. So if I think we're going back up there, that's why I want to wait for the 5 minute pullback. And I'm going to take tight risk on this 5 minute pullback. I'm willing to, if I take a $300 loss, I don't care because there's a potential for a much larger gain on this trade if we catch a winner that's going to run. So I'm just looking for this 5 minute to try to flush down here. We still got 2 minutes, but it may just pick up the envelope top here and just keep going. But I can't buy it there because then my stop needs to be like 500 bucks back here. And that just, we're too far away from the envelope bottom at this point. I don't really want to get in at the middle of the hourly envelope. I want to get in closer to the envelope bottom down here. And if we get it, we get it. And if we don't, we don't. But you guys can see how we stalked this trade. And, you just keep doing this and you keep putting yourself in the right position day after day, trade after trade. The winners come. And you just don't get upset when you see something good and then you just, if it doesn't confirm, it doesn't confirm. But you guys will come up with your own trading plans. You might say, hey, look, if the 5 minute starts moving inside the envelope, man, I'm going for it. Go for it. So we got 1 minute. See if we can get a little flusheroo. Try and get long. Yeah, exactly. I only pulled up the 5, Jacob, because the 15 just it just out of nowhere reversed to the upside. So we got about 30 seconds. And we're going to get a 15-minute close as well. See, the 15-minute, I would hope we close under all this because then there might be a chance it might knock us back down here to try and get long. I certainly wouldn't short this at all. because, you know, we're coming out of, I hope that's obvious, right? So let's just hope that that 15-minute pocket, I mean, I think it's going to blow through all this, but I'm just kind of hoping it can at least have some effect to knock us back down here to the middle of the envelope on the 15. You know, so basically what we're doing, guys, this is textbook course stuff. We're waiting for the 5-minute to enter congestion down, if possible, like this, because we expect the 5-minute congestion support level at the middle of the 15-minute envelope, at all that support on the hourly, at all that support there. We would expect that to all be very strong, and for the 5-minute to continue on its way like this, right? And if we're wrong, then we're wrong about all that support. We would buy there, and then bang, it would smash through, and then we lose. But, you know, I don't anticipate that happening. Anything can happen. But this is how you set up the trades. And the longer you do this, the more you familiarize yourself with what's being taught in the course and how we're executing on the different playbooks. You know, it's not about like, are you making money right now today? It's like, okay, if you work your ass off and study this and understand it, 3 months from now, you'll start taking payouts and you won't stop taking payouts, and your payouts will grow. So I think that's how people have to look at it. And I know, guys, because in the beginning, that's how it is. Like you want it real fast, and I understand that's human nature. But with trading, you really got to focus on the process. And if you really focus on that process, it will lead to your success. So right now, I'm really hoping that 5-minute can just get knocked back down into congestion so we get an opportunity to buy. And please try again later. Let's see. Excellent connection. All right. Well, we will have to